Okay, that's one
I think we
way
gotta
of
redo it.
introducing everyone. But
I
anyways,
think we gotta
yeah.
redo it. Cut.
Redo it? No, there's no redos here over at Sports Bets, but mostly chaos. Welcome to the show. We are your hosts. I'm Craig.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Benny.
I'm Jason.
And welcome again to another episode
Cramps
here.
can't get out of bed.
Yes, you may have immediately noticed that Jason is not behind me during this viewing session. He is actually recovering at Kaiser right now because he has a small back injury from softball. So he's currently on their Wi-Fi. So if he cuts out, that's exactly why. But we're just going to keep rolling.
All right. Poor Jason.
That's like 85% true. I mean, you got the Kaiser part. It's probably.
Jesus.
Oh.
Right. Well, as we move into some actual sports discussions here, we got some stuff to touch on and a little bit to touch on the NBA and the NFL as well as the NHL. And mostly we got some baseball updates to get to, kind of update you all a little bit on the red hot Oakland A's, as well as the also pretty hot San Francisco Giants, and then the not so hot LA Angels of Anaheim. But we're going to jump right things off to NBA wise. Nothing really actual, in the association really going on. But Cohooney, there was some basketball news to report.
Yeah, like you said, there's nothing too huge with the association. A lot of the big free agents have been signed. There's been a lot of trades going. Maybe the biggest name still left is Lauri Markkanen. Dennis Schroeder, after turning down a $20 million extension to sign a one-year deal with the Celtics, made a bad move there. But so after starting off really badly during the first game of the Olympics, the NBA U.S. team still came back and won gold against France, and Australia took the bronze. So that was good to see.
I want winners.
Yep. But now those players come back overseas, back home to the U.S., and the NBA season's kicking off in 2 months, almost 2 months from today. I think the season starts on October 19th. Crazy that's coming up this quick. Two big names to keep an eye on: Damian Lillard from Portland. Before the Olympics, there's rumors that he was going to request a trade. He's denied the rumors, but hey, when there's smoke, there's fire. And then Ben Simmons is refusing to play with the team. He's going to hold out till he gets moved. Those are the biggest two names to keep an eye on for the next 2 months. And then also Summer League is going on, and a couple of days ago we actually had the number 1 and number 2 players, Cade Cunningham and I always forget the player, Jalen Green for the Rockets. They faced each other for the first time, and
Wow.
they both put on a show in Vegas, and those are really two young rookies to keep an eye on this upcoming season. But yeah, that's all I have. We'll see what happens with those two big name players, and yeah, just Summer League's been fun so far.
Wow, it's kind of crazy to think that NBA is really right around the corner. I mean, the off seasons always seem like they're so long until, I think once you're in there and you kind of, when you're in there, it does feel like it takes forever, but
it was a shorter off season. It was a shorter off season this year, not as short as last year, but after this year, they'll be back to a normal 3 full months of Because usually July 4th is when big free agency kicks off that weekend, but this weekend, this year, playoffs are still going. I think
playoffs,
conference finals were around that time.
Missed the opportunity for that one.
Playoffs.
Oh, there it is. Still there. All right. Well, we can shift our attention to probably the more bulk of the show, and that's what's going on in Major League Baseball. Going on right now is the Field of Dreams game between the Yankees and the White Sox. It's a little bit that I've watched. Seems like there's a home run derby going on with the amount of balls that end up in the cornfield. But we're going to kind of shift our focus a little bit to, the teams going on here in the Bay Area, as well as one team down in Southern California. But we're going to jump things right off with the Oakland A's. They have been really on a tear lately. They completed the 3-game sweep of the Indians today, and they did it with pretty convincing, I think, in a 17-0 final score, and they popped off 7 in a row now, and I want to say like 11 of their last 13. So things, and if you kind of break it down and just looking at each, if you kind of break it down to their starting pitching and their bullpen and their hitting, they're kind of clicking on it. Seems like almost all cylinders right now. I mean, yeah, there's still some bats that aren't there yet, or that have been struggling all year, like Matt Chapman. But I mean, Starling Marte has just brought new life, I think, to this just entire lineup. And I'll be honest with you guys, when I thinking about Jed Lowry batting in the 4 spot, I'm kind of like, yeah, he's not your prototypical number 4 hitter, but man, when they have a guy like Marte, Olsen, and Lowry coming at 2, 3, 4, I mean, Lowry has the best batting average in all of baseball with runners in scoring position. So, I mean, the guy who's just seems to have, these great years really with the A's. I mean, I wouldn't say like super great, but just he has his best years with the A's, and then he just can't stay healthy anywhere else. It's just unbelievable to think, just the fact that he is able to do that. And he's just been a humongous player for this team. And just to think that he signed like this minor league contract before spring training, and this is where they're at now. So, but I'll throw it out to you guys. Just want to know your opinion, just just how the A's have looking as of late, and also maybe look ahead in the schedule too, because they have a tough stretch of games coming up here.
Oh yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with Marte, the acquisition. I mean, they've been on fire. Harrison's been great. The whole team's really been clicking on cylinders. I mean, even Chapman, who's been struggling to get on base, he walked 5 times today. So I mean, he got on base. At the end of the day, that's what you're trying to do, just to get on base. Starting pitching's been great. They got a big series against the White Sox coming up. It's going to be pretty big. Just to see where they're at. The Astros are kind of hurt and injured, and they're kind of slipping a little bit. So the A's are right there in striking distance to get them back in the division talk. I think they're at the way they're going. They're going to end up in the playoffs. I just don't know if it's going to be a wild card or a division winner. But even if it's a wild card, it's going to be a tough game against probably either Boston or the Yankees. Marte, I mean, he's been like the hottest hitter since he's been acquired in baseball.
In all of baseball, yeah.
Just gets on base, steals bases. A great find. I mean, he's going to be a good rental. Obviously he's going to be gone after this year, but not to be Debbie Downer.
Easy man has the money.
Yeah, I'll say he's going to get paid.
Yeah, he's going to be paid
pretty damn well.
Me and his money.
Yeah,
after going into this off season. So
right. Yeah, like you said, Lowry, he's a clutch hitter. People get on base, he drives them in.
Mm-hmm.
He moves the line. Yeah, he's not a prototypical cleanup hitter, but numbers speak volumes. So if he seems to get the job done, then you got to roll with it, no matter how awkward's not the right word, but he's not just a prototypical cleanup guy. I'm looking forward to the big series this weekend.
Yeah, we did kind of gloss over the biggest news of the week. Unfortunately, Ramon Laureano did get popped for PED, so he's gonna be out for the rest of the season. He's gonna be suspended for 80 games, very similar to Frankie Montas. Even if he made up all 80 games, he still wouldn't be eligible for playoffs. So that's a huge hole. But now the acquisition of Marte is even bigger. We thought we had this solid outfield. Now imagine if we didn't get Marte, we would have to play Piscotty, Brown, and Canna every single day. Like, what the hell?
That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny to watch.
So,
How about you?
So giving up Lazaro for Marte, like that ended up being probably the biggest move of the trade deadline, and it's showing. In August, he's been hot. And you know what? The A's were really bad in July, and the Astros used a very weak schedule to hop them and get, I think, 5-game lead on them at one point.
Yeah.
And ever since August, ever since the calendar changed to August and the A's had an easier schedule, I believe right now they're 1.5 games back. So, they're actually leading. They're leading the wild card now. They're not the road wild card. They would be hosting if it ended today. So
2 games up.
Yeah, they're taking they're doing what the Astros did in July. When the Astros had to play Baltimore and Detroit all the time, and they won 12 games in a row. The A's are doing exactly the same thing. They're beating up on the Angels. They're beating up on Seattle, which they've made some questionable moves. Giving up Graveman. They're beating up on the Indians. So it's like now they get to Texas and then they go to the 4-game series against the White Sox. Let's win those 3 games against the Rangers, and then if we could split, or even at worst case scenario win 1 of 4 but look really competitive in all 4, like you're feeling great about yourself when you're coming home. So there's nothing really to complain about the A's. I mean, Caprillian's back and he didn't look awful in his first start back. So their bullpen Romo. I mean, you could argue Romo might deserve some closing opportunities because he's been our most consistent reliever in the whole league, in the whole team. So the whole team's clicking on, and it's amazing to watch.
Couple points. One, Romo. I think if it's not broke, don't fix it. He's just doing really well where he is. So I wouldn't push that. And 2,
he closed for the Rays.
Yeah, well, he closed for the Giants too, but I mean,
But
he's just.
But the thing we're talking about though is essentially, and I'm looking this up right now because I don't have it on me, but at this point, I don't see why you would even take it away from Trevino, because Trevino's been solid, and I'm going to look at his last 30 games. He's had 30 innings pitched, and his ERA is 0.88. Like, I don't, and that's 3 earned runs in those 30 innings. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, Romo's pitched so damn good, and it's like, I mean, I get a situation maybe where Trevino's not available, then you can go to Romo, but I don't see
go to Romo before we go to Diekman.
Diekman shouldn't be in any high leverage situations anymore, in my opinion. So, but I think that's one thing about this. That's something that's gotten a lot better too. And we talked about this going into the deadline when they were struggling, was that, and Ben, don't ever use a chat ever again for that. But their bullpen has really kind of turned it around. I mean, there's been some guys that haven't been great, but I mean, look at some of the key guys they've had. They went and got Andrew Chafin at the deadline. He's been great ever since they've gotten him, but I know he hasn't, pitched a ton of innings since they've gotten him, but he's been solid.
He's just a death pitcher. Perfect. Yeah.
And Romo, we touched on. Romo's been solid. And Yusmeiro Petit hasn't been fantastic, but he's still your workhorse, and he's still going to get you. He's still going to do the job more times than he is not. He's a guy that's going to still go out there and pitch, 2 out of every 3 nights. And I mean, really,
Smith?
the only people, Bert Smith. There was a lot of talk about how
Manaea struggled. He came in
and very interesting that happened too when it did, because the morning of that game, the A's actually DFA'd JB Wendelken to recall AJ Puck up, which, by the way, that's another guy, AJ Puck, in his 2 appearances since coming up. There's a whole talk about how he's really changed his arm angle, and his stuff looks pretty darn good in the 2 outings he's had. So there's another guy that could just really revamp this bullpen and just really make it just almost like a gauntlet of when you get, it's almost like that whole Royals team back when, if you didn't get to their start in the first 6 innings, it's like good luck hitting on the guys in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. I mean,
back when they had Kelvin Herrera coming in the 7th, God damn.
Wade Davis and other guy whose name who still pitches for the Royals isn't anywhere near as good as Domina.
God damn, what was his name? Holland.
Yeah, Greg Holland. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna get to be that dominant, but I mean, right now it's like you feel pretty good if the A's have a lead going into late innings, because I mean, and not to mention they're getting the most innings out of their starters out of any other team in baseball. So I mean, I don't know, just like how we talked about, they're kind of clicking on all cylinders right now, which is really good to see. And that 7 in a row, hopefully they can keep it going. But I know that series against the White Sox next week over on the South Side is going to be really interesting to watch. So, and
is that a best of 3 or a best of 4 for you guys?
That's a 4-game series down there. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And then Jason, you said you had a couple points. Sorry to interrupt.
No, just the one with Romo I talked about. The second one is the A's had to catch a whiff of the suspension coming, right? You would think, which is why they made the Marte deal for Luzardo.
I don't know about that. I don't know how that works.
No, I don't think so, because I mean, wouldn't he just be suspended the moment they know he's
Well, you have the option. You have the option to what's the word I'm looking for?
Come out and
Protest?
Not protest.
Protest?
But yeah, have a second. If it comes back like a urine test comes back positive, they do another B sample. But I think I've heard in the past, maybe with Montas or somebody else, that they caught wind of it and it's kept under wraps until they finally say, "Hey, it's official." But
I don't know, because another thing too that I remember, when they acquired Marte, David Force pretty much straight up said that he thought that Marte was the best offensive option out on the market. And I mean, I'll even, speaking from me, who's someone I've seen Starling Marte play before, but I've never gotten a sample size this big in this little time he's been with the A's compared to, beforehand. And I mean, the guy, he is just an absolute stud out there. And he's a 5-tool player. Yeah, exactly what you said, John. So, and it's like before it was like, oh, I'm not sure, but now you're seeing it and you're kind of like, wow, I think I actually kind of believe that that's exactly what they believe. So I don't know. I think that they always kind of had in their mind that they wanted to figure out a better situation with the whole right field platoon with Piscotty and Brown. So I think when they made that trade, it was simply to address that hole in their lineup. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're onto something, Jason, but my guess is probably
he's
not.
onto something. All right.
The crazy part is Brown's actually been really good since he came up. Back up. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Now they're saying that ever since
back to back home run days, and then today I think he went 1 for something with a sac fly and I don't know. If we can get anything from the bottom of the lineup, like imagine like Andrews wasn't like Andrews like 3 weeks ago batting like second, and now he's back to batting ninth. Like
which I think is a good spot for him. He can almost be like a second leadoff when he can, when he can get on base and everything. So we'll see. Hopefully they can just keep riding that wave. Okay, Ben, since you would like to speak, we can go ahead and transfer it over to the.
We really don't need to. There's not much to highlight over here in Southern California.
Well, we're going to throw it over to you. So we're going to take the 5 down to you, and we'll quickly turn right back around. So,
well, so the Angels not looking too hot per usual. They ended up winning game 1 against the Dodgers and then dropping the next 2. So kind of saw that coming, but they took 1. So that was kind of a shocker. I mean, it's the Dodgers. What do you expect? They got Turner and what was the pitcher that they got?
What do you got?
Scherzer. Yes. So I was like, what do you expect? So now they're up against they're playing Toronto, and they won game 1 and then lost the second game and went ahead and followed that up with losing the third game. They play tonight. Actually, they're about to start in a couple minutes for game 4. So we'll see how that goes. They got a 3-game set against the Astros Friday through Sunday, and then 1 game against the Yankees. I think that's that fill-in game from earlier in the season with that COVID. So then after that, they hit the road again. They stay on the road and they go to Detroit. So we'll see how they go. The only highlight moment was Ohtani finally got off the schneid of the home runs, got 1 last night. And so now he's at 38 home runs. And so, still number 1 right now. Nothing too really exciting to report over there. Really, that's the highlight right now. And then I thought it was pretty cool that Heaney was pitching for the Yankees, so that was cool to see him get an opportunity.
Yeah,
but then it was
dunk.
So then, you know what? At least he was there. So, anyways,
he's been awful since he got lit up.
You know what it reminds me of is when Sonny Gray went over to the Yankees. Just terrible.
I think I saw a stat on the line too after he gave up that last home run to Eloy Jimenez at the most recent one. They said that it was was like his 8th home run given up in the last 13 in like a 3rd innings pitch or something like that. So yes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it's just one of those markets. It's real. I think really tough to pitch in. You kind of see it.
You know how bad It's
How about
sorry,
what?
my bad. It's no, it's just
You know how bad, and then crickets.
no. I got mixed up for a sec. I knew both. You can do it tonight. I was just looking at the score. I said I went with the one bet I did. I didn't even touch the actual who would win this game because I knew it was gonna be like a freaking home run derby. Freaking Gardner hit a home run. God, that's pathetic. Okay, back to you, Ben. Sorry.
All right. Well,
Really didn't mean that. Really.
I was like,
didn't
is
mean
it
say
really
that out
back to
loud.
Ben? I mean, does he have anything else?
I know that there's not much else to report,
Oh,
unfortunately.
good. We can go back to
So
shutting you out now. Cool.
And the door is shut, and we are moving on.
All right. Well, we can touch on the Giants a little bit here too. You know, from the last show, they were getting ready to head to Milwaukee for a big 3-game series over with the Brewers. 3 tough games over there. They ended up dropping the first one on Friday night, but they ended up coming back and winning the next 2. And Giants, they keep winning important big series, you know, on these things of, oh, they haven't played anybody that good. Well, they've played teams that are good and they keep winning every series they're playing against. So I don't know if there's anybody still doubting this team. You may want to have a long discussion with your therapist or something. But and you know, they came back home, they handled the Diamondbacks in 2 games, and even that Tuesday night game, I mean, they tried to almost give that game away to the Diamondbacks, but the Diamondbacks were just so bad they just wouldn't let them. So that ended up not happening, and so they won those 2 games back Tuesday, Wednesday, and now they're opening up a 4-game series with the Rockies over at Oracle Park, another team they should probably handle with ease. Probably win 3 out of 4
game
there.
1 yesterday.
No, that was game 2 of the last series of their Arizona series.
I thought they beat the Rockies yesterday.
Looking right at it right now, bud.
Oh, you're right.
And then after that, they will have 3 games at home against the Mets before they head to the Coliseum. We got Battle of the Bay, round 2 over at the Coliseum on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So I'm really hoping that
play again after that.
the A's or the Giants here.
The Giants.
Yeah, they play the Mets again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting.
Interesting, but
the Mets probably need those wins because the Phillies have been really good, really hot lately.
Yeah.
Actually jumped them. The Mets had were first for quite a while.
But yeah, so I guess just anything you guys maybe want to add on the Giants. I know it seems to be they seem to be pretty happy with the Chris Bryant addition so far to this point. So
the Giants, nothing too huge to add on. Like they're plug and plays that they have. You know, if they're facing a lefty, Slater plays. If they're facing a righty, Dickerson plays. It's just they plug and play so well, and it's insane. How good of a job Kapler is doing, and he has to be the manager of the year. And I which is crazy because I thought he was a really awful manager in Philadelphia, and then he goes over to the Giants and it's been fantastic both these years. And, it's just insane.
A lot of things are going right for the team, you know. It's one of those years for him. Like a lot of pieces are adding it. Well, yeah, I am cutting off Jason. Sorry, old man driving there, so I gotta go around him.
he couldn't see Jason just said that. He's so used to behind him.
Oh, so anyways, Jason, go ahead.
No, I just they're really into the analytics department with their scouting.
Time's actually up. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think the bed nurse is coming by to change your bedpans. So.
I think a leg massage too is on deck. Maybe.
Whoa.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, they're really big on the analytics and they're finding weird ways to win games. It seems like tonight, kind of good ball gets hit the first baseman. Bryant hits a hard ball and it goes into right field and just new ways to win. And then he had the Dodgers there like a couple weeks ago, throw the ball out of Oracle Park, it seemed. And, you know, you got to take advantage. And, you know, they're just on a roll. And they're up 4.5 right now in the Dodgers. I don't think they're getting Bauer back this year.
No, that's why they went and got Scherzer.
Yeah,
they got Scherzer. Yeah, I mean, so it's gonna be, you know, they still play each other a few more games. It's gonna be tough down the stretch, but you know, the Giants, they're been holding their own all year long, and surprising myself, to be honest. I thought they were maybe a 3rd place team, maybe a 4th place team, but prove me wrong.
I'm gonna have to go back and see what their over under at the start of the season was because I may have already hit it.
They're getting close.
Yeah, they might already be
No.
at the total.
Now, this isn't Giants related, but do you guys? We've all season we pretty much guessed that 3 teams were going to make the playoffs from the NL West, right? We were assuming the Dodgers were going to jump the Giants, but at this point, the Giants they're the favorites to win that division. And
Yeah,
so the
I'm
Dodgers.
I'm at this point. I would put my money on the Giants that they'll win the division.
So
I think it's
the
going to line up.
Dodgers.
It's going to line up exactly where it is right now. The Giants are going to win the division. The Dodgers will take second, and the Padres will get third.
Do you guys,
Whether or not
think
how
the Padres,
far apart they are, but
do you guys think the Padres are locks though? I mean, Tatis is hurt again.
yeah,
Joe
but
Musgrove and Blake
Tatis
Snell
is
have been very
having
inconsistent.
yeah. Well, they still have
I'm
a lot of other players on that team, and I just think. Yeah, I mean, who else is behind? Like how because I don't know off the top of my head. How close is anybody to them right now?
Closest team is the Reds, 4 games back.
4 games back.
And how close are the Reds to the Brewers?
Oh, they're 8. The Brewers have the second best record in the NL.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the Padres have a little bit of a stronger squad than the Reds do.
I think somebody on this podcast picked the Brewers to win the Central. Could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not expect
Daddy, chill.
Is it Reese or what?
Damn.
How about no?
Reese seems to always pick the good teams.
All right. Ben needs to stop talking about MLB. Can we just something that he knows?
But hey,
about.
Interesting enough, though, really quickly, since you just because you brought it up, I guess there has been talks that because Tatis has been working out and possibly coming back, he may be moved to the outfield. There's a chance that they might have him play center field or right field, oddly enough. So I'm not really sure exactly what they're going to do with the rest of it, but I guess they haven't. I don't think they've been super pleased with what they've gotten at right field this year. I don't think Will Myers has been like all that great, so. That could be a possibility.
Will Myers has been a really.
When they added a guy like Adam Frazier, who you can throw him anywhere around the place. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I would say where they are placed right now is probably how they're going to end up. At the end of 162. So, all right. Before we switch topics, we got some bets to get to. I feel like we've kind of almost abandoned the whole bets portion of this show, which is kind of sad because that's like a third of our show, guys. So. I don't know what the hell.
It's just really difficult to.
I don't really know what Jason and Ben are doing, but John and me, we handled that part of the show this week. So, John, you had one bet, and it was a crazy one. So, why don't you start it off?
Hey, excuse me. I'm at Kaiser. I can't get my bets.
I'm sorry. We actually out of time.
That's it.
Go ahead, John.
He's going on vacay.
Go ahead.
Well, so I wanted to get a bet out for the Field of Dreams game, but I'm not a huge believer in Lance Lynn, and I am definitely not a huge believer in Andrew Heaney, so I was not going to touch the overall score of like over-unders or who was going to win. So I just took one bet. It was Jose Abreu to hit a home run plus 300. Did it in his first at bat. Let's talk about lock of the week.
Should have prison betted that. That would have been so solid if you'd have pulled that off.
He's probably going 0 for 5 now in UFC now.
Right,
Damn.
Well, it's impossible this weekend. I know that for sure. No card.
Oh, there's no card? Oh, geez. Gross.
All right. And then I threw out 5 bets, all MLB related today. Man, I really should have just took the A's to win the game, but just want to avoid it. Sometimes I'm really hesitant to really bet for a sweep, no matter really who it is. So I was like, all right, let me play a couple things here. So first thing I took was taking Starling Marte to have at least 2 hits. The guy's been red smoking hot, and he was able to pull it off. He got pulled in this game early because the game, got so far out of hand, but in 3 at-bats, he still pulled off 2 hits, and he had 3 RBIs thrown in there. So 1 for 1 there. The other bet I took was I took Chris Bassett to go over 6.5 strikeouts, and I think the way the game got out of hand kind of went against me on this one, simply because Bassett went through 6 innings. I think his pitch count was somewhere in the 80s. The A's pulled him because it was so out of hand, and he was at 6 strikeouts. So he was 1 away from going over. So unfortunately, that one did not hit. So we're 1 for 1 when it just came to the A's game itself. And then just a couple of other games. I took the Padres over the Diamondbacks tonight, as well as the White Sox over the Yankees. And I believe the White Sox, they're still winning that game at the moment. I think last time I checked, it was like 7-4. And the Padres scored 1 run in the first so far. They got run in the third with 1 out. So the Padres already have a lead there as well. So far, those two off to good starts. And I also decided a bit on the Blue Jays and Angels game, a matchup between Jose Barrios and Shohei Ohtani on the mound. I was like, let's not take a team. Let's just take the under on the runs scored. It's set at 8.5. So 8 runs or less in this game will get us a victory. So hopefully just a overall good solid pitching matchup there between Barrios and Ohtani. And so, yeah, 1-1 so far. The possibility to still go 4-1, but also could go 1-4. So we'll see how it plays out.
I think we all know where this is going.
Of the way. Well, it's coming from the guy who doesn't even do bets because he sucks. But we can move on to the next.
I actually forget about the whole Wednesday thing. I forget about it. That you have to send it in a day early.
Yeah, well.
Or you could just tell them like really early in the morning.
Yeah.
Before you wait, before
like
you
when
get in the car,
Yeah.
it's like 7:05 when you're like, oh shit, work's already started.
You should do it, Ben, but
house.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Are you speaking from experience, Cahoon, or what?
Ooh.
No, I'm talking about what Ben does every single day.
Oh.
What? Damn.
I'll do it every
It's
single
not.
day.
It's not bad. We're only like 10 minutes ahead of him. It's not like it's that bad.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're all pretty tardy. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But we roll with it. It's fine.
We get shit done.
Yeah.
All right, we can switch things over to the NHL. Not probably a whole lot
Party
of
break.
report, but Ben has assured me he has a couple of things to let us know. So maybe only a half hour instead of an hour to report here. So Ben, take it away. What do you got?
Well, to start off, I guess apparently the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to start an Amazon Prime Video series, All or Nothing. And guess who is going to be the narrator of it? Will Arnett, baby. Double trouble. So this guy is going to be the voice of it. And I'm curious what this series is going to offer in regards to the in-depth look of the Leafs and with their new team. And I think they're still going to be nothing. So it's going to be pretty terrible. Bless you. Jesus.
Thank you.
But there were some signings around the league. No surprise there. So one was Carter Hart, the goaltender for Philadelphia, re-signed with them for
Martin
3
Jones
years.
backup?
Oh God. That hell no. 3 years for $3.979 million per. That's not too bad given that he has a lot of potential and he had a really terrible season, but it was just an off year. He's a really good goaltender. I think he'll be the goalie of the future for them. So that'll be pretty cool. Marcus Johansson signed with the Seattle Kraken for 1 year, $1.5 million. So that's good to see. And the New York Islanders signed Adam Pelech to an 8-year, $5.75 million per year deal. So we're going to see a lot of these long contracts coming around now. People are really just trying to lock in their players, get the most out of them, and then part ways eventually. Darnell Nurse, very good defenseman, big body for Edmonton. He decided to sign an 8-year, $9.25 million contract. So he'll be a Oiler for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
Vince Dunn, he actually signed with the Kraken. He was on the St. Louis Blues, but 2 years for $4 million per year, kind of decided to stick around with the Kraken. So he'll go with them, get paid pretty hefty. And with the Ducks, they signed 3 key players in their youth. And so Maxime Comtois for a 2-year, $2.038 million per. Max Jones, 3-year, $1.295 million per year. And then Josh Mahura, 2 years, $750,000 per year. I don't really give a shit about that guy. But Comtois and Jones, solid locks. I'm happy as hell about that because there was a little bit of a delay and wondering if they were going to. Igor Shesterkin, the goaltender for the New York Rangers, though, he actually got a 4-year deal, $5.65 million per year. So look for him to be in the pipes for New York for the next few years. He may be kind of trying to fill that Henrik Lundqvist void, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. I don't see that happening, unfortunately. And then the big deal, real deal Neil, who's not James Neal.
Quit it. Move on.
Neil Pionk signed a 4-year, $5.85 million for the Jets. So he'll be sticking around there for a little while longer. And a guy that, really Florida for some reason really wanted. They got Sam Reinhart and decided to sign him to a 3-year, $16.5 million extension. $6.5 million per year extension. So that's a lot of money. And then the Red Wings just, they're signing somebody, I guess. Jacob Verana, 3 years, $5.25 million. I know that they signed not Todd Bertuzzi. It's the other his nephew Bertuzzi.
Tyler. Who is
Bertuzzi.
Tyler Bertuzzi?
There we go. I know they signed him to an extension, so they'll have him for a little bit longer. There was a lot of rumors middle of the year that they were going to try to move him, but apparently that did not happen. So they're just rolling with him for now. In regards to the Winter Olympics in 2022, I know it's a little bit of a ways, but they've already announced that John Cooper will be the head coach of that team and have Bruce Cassidy, Peter DeBoer, and Barry Trotz as his assistant coaches. So they'll be the guys to go with Team Canada. Team USA has not announced theirs. They won't for probably a while. They like to hold on to things. And then more stuff going on with Kaprizov with Minnesota. He has now rejected a 7 and an 8-year deal, both of them $9 million per year. He is still looking for that 4-year deal or so. He wants a shorter deal, but maybe for 10 to 11 million per year. So we'll see if he gets it. But if not, if they don't figure something out by September 1st, he has a deal in place with the KHL to sign a year deal with them. So if it's not done by September 1st, he's gone. So no surprise there. And some more fun news building off of someone's Get Off My Lawn segment last week was Evander Kane is now, more rumors are going on amongst the San Jose Sharks, where the team is, a lot of big name players are stating that they don't want to play for San Jose if he is not moved by the new year. They do not want to play with him anymore. They've had too many situations with him, with his negative energy brought into the locker room. And apparently late in the season, Kane almost got into a fist fight with assistant coach Rocky Thompson after arguing where he should be positioned on the power play. So that's always good. So that's nothing but positivity. And leave it to Doug Wilson to only state that all teams have locker room issues. So I don't know about that. Not like this. So I think that the players coming together to state that to management is really going to make them have to kind of start picking up their feet a little bit more and try to get this resolved one way or another, whether it's a buyout, whether it's trading him, whether it's just anything at this point. Just get him out of there, because if you're having big name players, whoever they may be, they weren't named, not wanting to play for the organization anymore. It's easier to get to deal with one guy compared to, 8 guys probably in that locker room that really don't want to play if he doesn't get moved. So it's going to be crazy to see what more comes about that. But and then they did, with the closing ceremonies of the Summer Olympics, they did announce, though, that they will have the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. So that'll be cool to see. And see where we go from 3 years from now.
Paris.
But in regards to the
Not
hockey
even close.
talk, that's all I got. Nothing too exciting. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight on some of the little signings and a little bit of drama throughout. But
Did
you know,
Parise get signed?
no.
He's probably the
You-
biggest name not be signed yet.
No.
Him, like there's a good chunk of people, but there's actually some good names out there. But yeah, it's everyone's just got to go for the right price. So
Mhm.
we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, so that's all I got on the hockey talk. And yeah, back to you, Craig.
Wow, thank you, Ben, for the very insightful information. It
Oh
provided
God, just go on
loads of
vacation already.
entertainment.
Oh,
That's
roasted.
fucked up. Okay, that's cool. All right. Well, we got a little NFL news we can bring to you, or at least that John can bring
Good.
to you. So I'm not gonna waste any time, John. Just go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, there's nothing too huge off the fields so far.
That's what she said.
Within the last week, just preseason for this week's kicked off. Patriots. We had seen Mac Jones for the first time. He looked decent. Nothing to go home about. They're facing off against Washington football team. Doesn't matter what the score is. It's preseason, and then Eagles and Steelers are facing each other. Jalen Hurts. From what all the reports are, he's having a terrible camp. And the funny part about that is his backup is Joe Flacco, and Flacco threw for a 70-yard touchdown today. So, hey, who knows? Maybe Flacco's making a old man ride, trying to get that first reps. But I don't think. I think Jalen Hurts will help this season. Eagles are gonna be shit trash anyways. Who gives a crap? Couple of games to look at tomorrow, though. We get to see the Bills and Lions. So, Craig and Ben's teams face each other in the preseason.
Yeah, right.
And then,
I don't know who's gonna win that shit show.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure if he's gonna play, how much he'll play. I think he's gonna play maybe 1 or 2 series, but we'll get to see Kyler Murray destroy the Cowboys secondary for a little bit.
Nice.
And it's just. First full week of preseason. We'll see. Hopefully everyone comes out healthy. There's always those random injuries that happen during preseason. That's unfortunate. The Rams already lost Akers for the season in training camp. So hopefully everyone comes out healthy, and hopefully we got more to talk about next week. But yeah, NFL almost here, September 9th. First game of the season. Buccaneers are going to kill the Cowboys.
Anybody watch Hard Knocks?
Oh, yeah. I hate Mike.
I don't think so, Tim.
Dak,
Mike
I don't know,
McCarthy's annoying.
I don't think Dak is fully recovered, man.
No. Did you hear that he's having a second MRI?
Yeah. Everyone's like, don't worry,
Yeah,
don't worry. You just have a second MRI.
It's not good. If I was betting right now, because you could still get plus money, I would bet the football team or the Giants to win the division. Don't bet Eagles. Eagles are still, even if Cooper Rush was the Cowboys quarterback, the Eagles still finished last in that division. They're just shit trash.
I think Washington will win the division then.
Yep.
Okay, you gonna prison bet it?
Who's my cellmate? You?
Dean.
I would destroy you.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
What?
What are you even
That's
Yeah,
just
what are
before.
Hello.
I one thing I forgot to bring up during NBA, Kawhi Leonard did sign a 4-year contract, $44 million a year. He's going to be out for 6 months. He had surgery to repair a partial tear. So, they're paying $44 million next year, and he's going to be back like late January, early February. But it's also a 4-year option, so we'll see. But that was a big signing that happened within the last week.
Cool.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving the energy here tonight, boys. Like,
Clearly
I think we're
just-
all on vacation
Craig's
mode right
already
now.
Craig's already on vacation mode.
He's been on vacation mode this whole week because he's forgotten how many things.
And leave it to Ben to talk about work on something that's not even work related, because he just never shuts up about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's move on to another topic. We can get something. This is something we can get really excited about. It's the Cohooney 5 and the bowling recap.
Well,
So
there's
Cohooney-
no UFC this week. UFC's off for a week, so no funny names for me to mispronounce and Ben make fun of me for. So we'll see if we'll see if it's an enjoyable Cohooney 5 or not. But to start off with a bowling recap,
Go for it.
very very rough night of bowling. First night back with the mask mandate inside. Definitely really struggled. I don't like wearing a mask while bowling. I try to take it off while I'm up on the lane, but it's still it's very very uncomfortable. I still somehow bowled over my average. My average right now 185. I still bowled over my average 2 out of 3, but my second game was so bad that combined I still didn't hit my average. Fortunately, the other team we were bowling, they struggled even worse. They're the last place team. They're not that good of a team, and we still took all 4. So we are now second place with 3 more weeks to go. We're about 4 points out of first, so we're going to need a lot of luck. There's only 4 points a week, so we're going to need a lot of luck to get first. But hey, we're up there. We're either going to finish second or third, most likely. Man, it's not too bad.
Was that a good payout for second or third?
It's a handicap league, so it's not going to be a good payout whatsoever.
Oh,
but it's you're better off trying to win supers. You remember what supers is, right?
Yep.
You could probably win more money in supers than if you win first in a handicap league. Yep. So there's not really much to talk about. One recap. As for the Cohooney 5, unfortunately, I have to say that Benny was correct, which is really really freaking annoying because I did go 2 and 3 last week. Very, very rough. I was very annoyed because I was pretty much on point with all the fights except for one. I said that the Casey Kenny versus Sonya Dawn. There, Ben, you can laugh at that. I said Dawn again. I said the fight was going to be very, very competitive and very close, and it's exactly how it was. Just unfortunately, Sonya Dawn got the decision win. I said it was going to be a really fun fight. It was going to be hard to call. But then Tisha Torres versus Angela Hill, that went exactly how I expected. Torres dominated her all 3 rounds. No, nothing. Okay. Next one was a loss. It was Chiesa versus Luque. Once again, it was a fight I knew it went exactly how I expected, but Chiesa just got very, very he just got stuck spamming submissions, and then he got caught in his own submission. And I'm like, instead of trying to continue having control, he tried for a random submission and then got caught. So that was a loss. And then Pedro Munoz versus Jose Aldo. I almost fell asleep during that fight. It was so boring. Aldo won in a very boring fight. And then the main event, unified heavyweight title fight, not unified. What was the word? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Zero Gone destroyed Derek Lewis. It wasn't even close. Derek Lewis, it's a heavyweight fight. Heavyweight fight, and after the first round, Derek Lewis landed 1 strike. Like, it wasn't close. Gone finished him in the 3rd round, and now he's going to face Ngannou eventually, probably in like 6 or 7 months for the actual real heavyweight title. But for the Cohooney 5 this week, like I said, UFC's off, so I'm going to stick to MLB. So we'll see how this goes. My overall record is getting close to 500, which is scary. It's 44, 38, and 3. Let's try to get back in the win column this week. And I'm going to start off with the A's versus the Rangers. I have the A's beating the Rangers. They're going to be pitching Dunning. I think Dunning is gas can, and I think the A's will win. Next up, I have the Tigers versus Indians. I'm actually going to go with the underdog Tigers. The Indians, they did not look good this weekend, and while the Tigers, they did all right. I think they won today, and I think they're the harder team, so I'm going to go with the Tigers. And then the next one, the Giants versus Rockies. Just mark that as a win. I think that's Telpani versus Gomper. Like, who the hell is Gomper? That should be a win. And then next up, we got the Brew Crew versus the Pirates. Exactly. Who is that guy? Next up, the Brew Crew versus the Pirates. I mean, you got the first place versus the bottom place in the NL Central. It's just easy lock there. And then the last one, I'm going to go for the big one because Sandoval's been pitching Sandoval's been pitching really well, and I'm going to take a chance. I think he has a
Take a
shot
chance on me.
that the
Evan.
Angels and Sandoval can take the first game of the series against the Astros. They'll probably lose the last two, but I think they'll win tomorrow. So to go over it, I have the A's over the Rangers, Tigers over the Indians, Giants over the Rockies, Brewers over the Pirates, and Angels over the Astros. That's the Cohooney 5 for this week. Greg, back to you.
That's another 2 for 3 week right there.
What am I
It's always interesting
What am I
that
two?
when Cohooney does
A's and
the
Giants.
when Cohooney does the MLB, and especially great because then he's like, oh, it's the top of the division against the bottom division, like in baseball, like anybody can pretty much beat anybody like any given day when they play so many games. So we'll see if those are
I've
quite
actually
locks.
been successful.
Well, we'll see.
I try to stay away from like high, like I didn't touch the Dodgers because they were like minus 200. Like I try to stay away from those kind of favorites.
I know who I'm blaming if the A's lose it.
I'm not Ben who goes, oh, I'm doing a bet. Okay. Ooh, they're minus 300. I'm gonna go with them. Ooh, look,
Yeah.
guys, I was right.
Hey, a win's a win, damn it.
Hey,
What?
Cohooney,
Huh?
what's that crap on your shirt?
Oh, it's the Cowboys.
Daddy,
Yeah, I
chill.
know they're crap.
Gross.
Who gives a shit?
That's not a
come
symbol. I was gonna send you guys a meme. It was like, that's not a team logo. That's a rating, and it's 1 out of 5 stars.
No,
that's
you
good.
right. No, you right. It's comfortable. Give me a break.
Too late.
Speaking of things that were rated 1 out of 5 stars, well, not all of
Ben's
softball,
baseball, softball
not
career?
all of softball related is that way, but we got to take it to the softball diamond. We got games to report. We'll just go in chronological order here. So we start things off on Friday. Our Pitches and Brews squad had a chance for redemption against WTF, a team that we lost in the last inning on some errors. Definitely coughed up a game that we really had no business of losing in the first place. But we handled business from start to finish in that game. We scored early. We scored often. Defensively, we were on our stuff. And I believe the final ended up being 21-4, if I remember correctly. So
Yeah, something like that.
just an all well played game all the way around. It was just, like I said, it was early and often. We didn't no innings off and held our own. So good thing there. I think we're at 5-2 now, overall record with 3 games left. So with a big game, our first of 2 matchups against the Outlaws tomorrow. So hopefully keep up the winning ways, and then let's shift our attention to Monday. If we were at this part of the roller coaster where we're up here, well, we're down here now.
Y'all.
As we had a doubleheader, and Mondays really got off to a good start. We were 2-0-1 to the first 3 games, and we were just playing really good competitive games, and things got really, really bad in a hurry. And it really started right at the get-go when Will, our starting pitcher, threw 10 straight balls to start the game. And it just one of those games where we're just a lot of walks, and defensively we weren't at our best. And offensively, we really struggled early. And even though we started to claw back, we just never could really get ourselves even and having a chance to win it. So the final ended up being 16-13, but relatively, it should have been a game that, in my opinion, we should have won that game if we were just
bottom like 6 runs to begin with. That would have been helpful.
That was unfortunate. And then we get to go against in the second game, the back-to-back of the doubleheader. We get to play against a team that we tied with the week before, and they had 8 players, and it was just it was just a crazy offense from them all game long. It was just we had some bad plays, but at the same time, they're hitting balls in gaps, and they're all fast as hell. So it was like anything they got in a gap, that was a home run. So and offensively, we just didn't have it like we did in the first game. It was just one of those things where we just struggled. And yeah, it was a rough night for sure. So we ended up dropping both of those games. The good news is that we're still, in third place, even after those 2 games out of 7 possible teams, and winnable games really, I think, the rest of the way. Yeah, on Monday next week, we play against a team that's 0-4. And even though they've been in every game, I expect it'll be a close game, but I just think if the team can show up and, just look like we did in the first few weeks, I think we'll be in good shape and have a chance to win that game. So, but as you know, we fell from up here to all the way down here. We've climbed our way back up because as of last night, our Wednesday night league, we took on familiar face pitch smackers who have really smacked us around quite a bit in the seasons we played against them. And fortunately, they tend to do that to everybody. And going into this season, they've had to spot everyone 7 runs every game. And the 7 runs came in handy, especially for us. It was one of those games where they scored a few runs, we scored a few runs, they scored a few, we scored a few. So it was kind of like every time they kept climbing back, we just kind of got those runs back and maybe 1 or 2. So we kind of kept our distance away. And then even towards the late end of the game, we had a couple of good defensive innings, and then we stopped hitting, and it was kind of those, here we go, keeping close. But defensively, we just kept shutting it down. So we were able to hold them off. And then the final ended up being 16-11. So you take away the 7 runs, it was 11-9 game. But they're just a really talented team, and they were playing with 8 players as well. And I mean, they're still talented all the way around. And John, I'll even throw it to you. I mean, I've talked a big game about that team, and even though you saw them shorthanded, I think you were telling me even off the airwaves, you were pretty impressed with just their overall squad.
Yeah, everyone on that team could hit. I mean, the females, the females were hitting into the gaps of the outfield. Which just, you put Haley out there in left center at just the perfect times because like she was catching everything, and it was just she was probably our MVP yesterday in the outfield because she made a lot of fantastic plays and probably won us the game.
Yeah, David had some great.
That,
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. I was just saying David made some pretty good plays on that field too. So both of them really defensively were huge. But yeah, Haley also had great spot hitting too. That's the thing with 8 players. You're kind of shorthanded. You kind of leave certain gaps of the field open, and they were kind of leaving the whole right side open. So right center and second base, and Haley was hitting the ball that direction. So yeah, she had definitely a really solid game all around. So Ben, I guess I'll throw it to you if there's anything you want to add on to Monday's double game affair. I know you were pretty happy when the second game was called because of a mercy rule early. So anything else you kind of feel on that one?
No, we just we did what we could. First game.
Did we?
Well, I mean, first game we did what we could with what we were given the lead they had, and then game 2, we were gassed. We were tired. We didn't have anything left in the tank. They were hitting it where we couldn't get to it. There wasn't much we could do about it. And then mentally, you could tell after the second, third inning. I mean, I'd say more of the third inning. You could tell everyone was just mentally out of it at that point, just like checked out. We knew where the writing was on the wall. It was unfortunate that that's the end result, but you can't win them all. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, we can't beat their egos because they apparently had giant ones, and I wanted to slap about half of those guys because they are just a bunch of pricks. So that was cool.
All right, tell us how you really feel. Okay.
So So I mean, I didn't know if there was a get off my lawn segment or not, but we could just start that up real quick. But no, but anyways, we did what we could. We can't win them all. It's rec league softball, it's just for fun. It's just good to be out there with the team and making jokes and having a good time. Hopefully Monday we can bounce back though, and get off that schneid, because not really liking that double dipping of L's there. That wasn't cool. I didn't like that BOGO special.
Right.
So,
how quickly you go from 2-1 to 2-2-1. So unfortunate.
Shit happens. I don't know. I think the biggest problem in our second game, I mean, defensively we did everything we could, but our pitcher was really off that second game.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Let's blame me. Let's blame me for that. Okay. Yeah. And then Jay, I guess I'll wrap it up. I guess I'll wrap it up to how you started with how the Friday game went. Just I guess on your feel of that game, and just
you definitely didn't play yesterday.
How you felt on that one?
Everybody hit. It was probably like our most complete game, I think, on Fridays. They played good defense. Everybody hit. We'll see how Outlaws are. I mean, we beat them before, but that was like opener of a season, and everybody was a little rusty. But they're typically pretty good, so it'd be a good challenge for us to see where we're at tomorrow.
All right. Well, yeah. So that's basically the softball crap, softball recap, softball crap, no whatever.
Recap,
whatever. Don't matter. So
I got
2-1, 2-1
yesterday.
on the week. Two good victories, 2-2, excuse me, and 2 unfortunate losses. But they're upset for softball for the week, so we got to move on to one of our probably our favorite segments. It's the Hit It or Quit It segment. If you watched any of our shows before, I'm sorry, yeah, the Get Off My Lawn. There's nothing this week, so hopefully that'll be back for our next show. But let's move on to the Hit It or Quit It. If you watched our shows before, this is just one of those where we all pretty much usually have a question where it's a roundtable question. Someone presents it, and we all just take turns if we're hitting it or if we're quitting it. So, boys, anyone have a question you want to start out with?
I'll go. We talked about it earlier about the A's. They're kind of on a roll right now. The two cornerstones, I think, for the last few years have been Olsen and Chapman. So the Hit It or Quit It question is, will one of them be traded this offseason? Hit it or quit it?
John, why don't you start? Because I already know exactly what you're going to say.
I'm hitting it, but the crazy part is the way Chapman's playing this year. They're not going to be able to get the bulk of prospects that they thought they were going to be able to get.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to change it. I think the way Olsen's playing this year, I think they trade Matt Olsen in the offseason. But I think they will trade one of the Matts because they only have one more year of control, and this offseason is probably the best chance that they get at getting the best prospects back.
Craig, go ahead.
I mean, I really want to say quit it, but I think I'd lean more towards hit it. I think it also could have to do with how the rest of this year plays out too. Like if they end up being in the wild card game, they lose in the wild card game, then I think it's more likely that we'll see one of those get traded. But exactly what John said too. I think Olsen is obviously way more valuable than Matt Chapman right now.
Yeah.
It's not even close, really. So yeah, I'm hoping that they'll still have like a lengthy run, and maybe if they somehow get to the AL Championship Series or possibly in the World Series. They're still not my favorite to get there, but maybe that changes. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've kind of said it before that I feel like this might be their last shot, and I think getting rid of one of those guys would kind of solidify that this is their last kind of go. So I hope to quit it, but I think I'm going to side with John on this one. I'm going to say hitting it.
I will have to say hit it. That at least one of them, if not both of them, will be moved. Win or lose, I think that no matter what, I think that there's a good chance because it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're like, oh, we lost in the wild card game, got to dump some people, and obviously these guys are going to want a lot of money, and then same exact thing if you guys win. Let's just say hypothetically my prediction's correct and you win the World Series. Well, Matt Chapman and Matt Olsen, no matter how they play offensively or defensively, and vice versa, then they're still going to be worth a lot of money. So, and I don't think that they're going to want to pay that because that's not the A's baseball style. So they like to use coupons whenever possible on players. So, So unfortunately, I think one, if not both will. So I would definitely say hit it.
I'm going to go with hit it as well. I think I've talked to Greg about this off air. You guys both touched on Olsen's value is higher right now and through the roof, and it's kind of like a buy low, sell high. You want to get the most on your return. You might have to move Olsen for that, as painful as that might be. Chapman's not going to get his $300 million, no matter who his agent is. I mean, it's bad. His glove is still his glove. So, yeah, it's just not. They're not going to be handing out $300 million to average guys. I mean, hitting wise, I mean, you got to be a stud. So I'm gonna hit it. I think one of them will be dealt this offseason.
Imagine if Chapman pulls a Semien and does a 1-year deal with the team and then goes off like he
That guy's
like
all
Semien
in
is.
right now, dude.
That would just suck. 'Cause,
Well, we already know how Cohooney feels about this.
All right. Anybody have another question?
I have one. And no one else has one.
Go for it.
I have one too.
You two have one,
Oh.
so you got it. John, go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
Way to help out there, Ben. All right. Well, so Derek Carr is 30 years old right now, but he did during a press conference talk about how with nutrition and with all the science that's happening right now, he thinks he could play for another 15 more years, and that people nowadays have higher age ceilings than they used to. Uh, while I agree with what he said, I don't believe that Carr has what it takes, like talent wise, to play till 45. So how about hit it or quit it? Carr can play another decade in the NFL.
You want to go first? I'll go first if you want.
Go for it.
So yeah, I'd actually do like some of the things you just actually talked about, John, and that is that. Look, me personally, I actually really do like Derek Carr. I think that's just based on not even his performance on the field. I just think he's a good, solid guy, and it seemed like a good teammate. And I like the energy he brings, but at the same time, the talent. I think I don't know. Sometimes I think something gets a little bit underrated in a sense, but I also know he's not anywhere near like being a top 10 quarterback in this league for sure. So. Like I said, I think he sometimes gets a little underrated. I think he is a decent quarterback, but at the same time, exactly what you said, John, like, I just don't know if he's got the talent to really stick around that long. So based on that knowledge and that theory or that feeling, I would say quitting it. I don't think he can stay that long.
You don't think he'll play till 40 pretty much. That's right.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make it. He'll get close, but I don't think he'll make it to 40.
Well, Jay, how do you feel?
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna quit it as. Yeah, I'm gonna quit it as well. I think, like Craig kind of said, he's not a top 10 quarterback. He's probably in the 12 to 15 range. I don't know. I think of him as always like Captain Check down to me. He always dumps it off for 5 yards, and then he gets ever since his injury. I think he's just been really gun shy, and I don't think it's him. I don't know. I don't have a big expectation for the Raiders. That's a tangent for another day. But he may be in the league when he's like 36 or 37, but he's like a backup quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a starter 8 more years. I just don't see it. I'm going to quit it.
Yeah, well, actually, that kind of hit my point. Is I'm gonna say hit it. That he will be in the league for another decade, but he'll be a starting quarterback for the next 6-7 years. And then he will go and be a rostered backup quarterback somewhere for up until he's like 40, like 42 or something like that. And then he'll just kind of fade away. Now that may change just because, again, his health, because of that grueling leg injury he did have, if he gets another situation like that, I don't know. But let's just say all signs are good and he stays healthy, and it is just his age that he has to battle, then yeah, I see him being a starting quarterback for the next 7-8 years-ish. And then just riding as a backup beyond the 40s. So I think that he will be in the league for at least a decade more. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to hit it as well. And if you had talked to me about this yesterday, I would have quit it. But I did not realize that Joe Flacco is still in the league as a backup. And if Joe Flacco can stay in the league as a backup like this long after not being a starter for 4 years, like,
yeah,
I'm confident that even if
anything's possible.
I'm confident if Derek Carr could take
Like
care of his
Garnett.
body like he expects to, and
Possible.
he could be a backup for a couple of teams before he ends his career. He has maybe 2 or 3 years left with the Raiders to prove that he's the Raiders QB of the future before they move on. And if it ends up being you're not the future, then I can see him being that backup for a couple of teams. Like, yeah. So I'm gonna hit it.
Yep, that works. Craig?
All right. So my question, it's going back to the A's as well. I know we kind of touched on during the MLB segment and just talking about, how they kind of be clicking on all cylinders. Their offense is hitting right now. Their offense is probably arguably the best one in the month of August so far. Their starting pitching has been consistently good, still been doing its thing. And the bullpen has really kind of turned it around over the last little bit as well. So my question is, because, you know, you think about teams, about, you know, where their peak is and are we seeing at their best? So my question is this: hit it or quit it. The A's are playing at their peak right now.
Oh, okay. Go for it, Jay. Phew, save me.
I'm gonna hit it. I think they are playing at their peak right now. They're hitting on all cylinders. I mean, like you said, the bullpen's been really good enough. Starting pitcher, like you said, most innings in Major League Baseball, pretty solid throughout, and the hitting's coming around. I mean, how often this year have you said all three are being above average? Probably not at the same time. So yeah, I'm gonna hit it with that.
Come on, Benny.
Oh, sorry, I was yawning. My bad. Sorry.
All right, Nick.
Sorry about it.
Wake up, Spiffy.
I will say quit it, only because everything is going really well right now, but I think because of their new additions and then the loss of Laureano, I think that they'll maybe be able to kind of get a little second win, just a little bit better than what they're doing right now. Not by much, but a little bit better. And then they'll hit their peak and then they will go down. But I think I only say quit it just because I think they have a little bit more of a ceiling to go, but they are doing very good right now. They're doing really good. Everything. I mean, I wish the Angels were playing a quarter of as good as you guys right now, but that's just not the case. So I mean, I'd like to see them keep doing well, and I think they have a little bit more room for improvement.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it though, because the bullpen is probably playing the best that they possibly could. I mean, sure, you want to see Deepman do a little bit better, and with hitting, you would like to see Chapman, and maybe not have to have Piscotty and Brown out there every day. Maybe have Laureano. That would be the peak, but without Laureano for the rest of the season, this is it. I mean, like Chapman. Hey, if he could start, seeing the ball better and get walked more instead of striking out all the time. I mean, look at Murphy. Getting Yan Gomes has put a fire in his ass.
Yeah.
He's been fantastic ever since we got Gomes. And and the pitching, hey, that starting five that they have is just so consistent. I mean, sure, Manaea struggled this week, but hey, he was due for a struggle. Bassett had one. Montas had one. Hey, now Manaea had one. Everyone has one bad game, but as long as it doesn't start becoming a trend, you're fine. So I think this is the peak. And is this the peak that can dethrone the Astros for the division or dethrone them in the playoffs? Wait to see. Story's still out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna hit it as well. I think, and John, you brought up a couple of things that I was thinking about, is that, yeah, I think you look at certain players and think, well, if they were doing this, then they'd be at their peak. Like guys like Matt Chapman, who's been a guy who's had a really rough year at the plate. And you got Piscotty and Brown, who are obviously going to get more playing time down the way now that Laureano is out for the rest of the year. But ultimately, as a team, to knowing that right now you have your offense doing what they're doing, the starting pitching doing what they're doing, and their bullpen doing what they're doing, I think we're seeing the A's the best of their ways. I mean, yes, of course, I think, offensively they could probably get more if they get those guys to step up and do it, but I just don't necessarily see it happening. I mean, I know Brown's looked good over the last few games. I think he's going to eventually just kind of tamper down like he has. And Piscotty is going to, do a little here and there when he's in the lineup. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Josh Harrison, that's a guy that got hurt. He got hit in the hand. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. I don't know. There's some things going on. So, yes, I think there's individuals that are definitely nowhere near the peak. They're playing under average, that maybe if they could step up, that'd be great. But overall, as a team, I think this is probably the peak. I think it's the best you're going to see from their team overall. So, like I said, hopefully they can continue it going on, and hopefully they can maintain this exact style of basketball they're playing right now when it matters, when come October. So, but yes, I'm going to hit it.
I got a bonus hitter to quit it really quick. All right. So, our show here, we provide multiple avenues of content, correct? We all agree
Right.
about the podcast and other things that we do.
You're
So my
right.
question to you guys is, by
Oh, boy.
September 1st, will there be another episode of Jockparty out? Hit it or quit it?
Wow. That's good.
Quit it. Move on.
Well, so yeah,
Quit it.
I'm gonna
move on.
quit it. I'm gonna quit it because Craig's about to go on vacation, and then Ben actually in September is gonna be taking a couple of days off too. So he's probably
How
gonna
does
be
that
like,
affect the question of by September 1st?
September 1st.
I don't know, because he's gonna be so focused on the vacation that he has coming up that he's gonna forget about. And plus, he has all the hockey that he has to do now. Like,
What?
now that hockey's back,
What?
he has like no extra days. He's busy
guy.
24/7.
This guy out of here.
He's an idiot.
Wow.
Mute button. Mute button. Oh my god. I'll say hit it. I think we'll have one just by pure accident. We'll have one episode. of
Pure
Jockparty.
accident.
Just
How
by
does
pure
that work?
chance,
Oh,
we'll all be
whoops.
on Zoom.
Whoops.
We'll all be
How
on
did that
Zoom
happen?
one
I
day
didn't
together and
do
be
an
like,
episode of
oh, well, we're
Jockparty.
here. Might as well do a Jockparty. So if we may be shirtless, we may be pantsless. You find out on our next episode of Jockparty, folks.
Well, hello, Nickelodeon.
So it's my turn now to state. So all right,
That's
well,
usually how it goes.
okay. So yes, they've hinted that I do want to go on vacation. I'm gone from tomorrow until next Thursday, and then after that, I'm going to a couple more games at the Coliseum on the 21st, 22nd. But after that, things are going to be a little bit better. So yeah, there's still going to be softball going on at least for the rest of the month, but there's going to be things are going to at least finally start slowing down, at least from my end. So I'm thinking that as long as these guys are willing to participate, and the sake of not, proving me wrong, that I'm going to say hit it. I think we're gonna get a Jockparty in before September the 1st.
Wrong.
Therefore, I am hitting it.
What day are you going to an A's game?
Stop the count.
Saturday the 21st and Sunday the 22nd.
Oh, gotcha. That's the 21st of the day game, right?
They're both day games.
Okay, well, good to know. All right, well,
I mean,
that's
not
gonna be a
like, it's not like you're gonna remember anyways. Even if I tell you right now, you're gonna ask me again. So
Oh yeah, I'm on vacation mode. That's fine.
Hurry up.
But go ahead and
Alright,
answer your own question there, Jason.
I'm gonna say hit it barely. We'll do
Barely.
it.
We'll do it on
quick,
30th.
before you say anything,
That's what she said.
go for it.
Just the tip.
I say by like August 29th sounds like a good date. I don't know, could be wrong. Oh yeah, hit it barely.
All right, that's
Hit
fair.
it
What day
softly.
is August 29th?
This Sunday?
That's a Sun. Oh, I got church.
You need it.
Oh.
My man.
Oh. Well, all right,
There
that's
it
good.
is. Good one, Jay. I did not think that was coming, so that's good. All right. That it for hit it or quit it? I'm sorry if I cut the music
That's it.
short in case someone had another bonus question in there. Good one, Jay. Really good one. That was probably the highlight right there. So all right. Well, as we're wrapping the show up, we like to close things off with our shout outs, people, anything we know, anything like that. It kind of goes over the place. So boys, do you have any shout outs you want to give this week?
I do. My kids, Rachel and Nathan, started school today. Rachel's a freshman, God help me, and Nathan's in 7th grade. So big years ahead of them. No more elementary school, which is nuts. And looking forward to that. Another thing, we don't have like a bunch of boxing talk on here, but the Manny Pacquiao fight next week was changed because the guy who was supposed to fight had a torn retina in his left eye, so he needed surgery.
Oh,
So
snap.
he brought in a replacement, and so he's fighting next week. But it doesn't have the same appeal. It was a really good fight before, but now it's just And then I don't know if you guys saw it. Lionel Messi, no longer with Barcelona, moved over to PSG.
That's going to be very controversial.
Yeah, that's. I mean, hey, he wanted to stay for less money, and they said, "Hey, you know what? Let's kick rocks," which is the guy's a legend. So,
Rocks.
just came through the news, so I mean, yeah, that's all I got.
Well, it's actually very controversial with soccer. So PSG already has Neymar, and they already have like 2 other people making over so much money, and
Right.
they actually have like rules against creating super teams like that, to where you can actually get a playoff ban if. So they're gonna need to start cutting a couple of players so that they don't get banned. Now that they have Messi and Neymar on the same team,
Jesus.
pretty crazy. They're very strict on like not creating super
That's
teams.
good though. You want it even.
Yeah.
You want anyone to have a chance. And your shout outs, Cohooney?
I don't have any, no like huge.
Good to know.
shout-outs.
Moving on, anyways.
Quit it. Move on.
Just bringing up my mom. She's dealing with COVID right now, and it's been 2 weeks and she's still showing symptoms. So unfortunately, she's not being allowed to take the test to be cleared back to work. So she's gonna have to quarantine another week. So unfortunately, that means my brother, his birthday's this Sunday, and he's gonna have to spend his 8th birthday quarantined with my mom. So that's a little unfortunate, but I was hoping to shout out my brother for his birthday, but first I'm not gonna go see him because they're quarantined. But still, happy birthday, Aiden, 8-year-old, crazy.
That sucks. But you know what? Like at least it's just 1 year. You know, he'll be able to double up next year then for 9. So gotta make it double as special. Let's see here. Well, shout out to Top Golf in San Jose. That shit was pretty legit. That place is hella nice. Did that for Jergy's little party celebration thing, whatever, for his wedding thing, whatever. That was cool. It's just all it proved is I can't hit a golf ball to save my life. That was fun.
That's funny.
It doesn't matter what ball you're hitting, really, huh?
Yeah, no, any of them there. I'll leave the ball hitting to you, sir. Anyways,
The way you were talking about yesterday, you couldn't even hit pucks either.
oh wow.
Yeah.
But anyways, but then also I want to shout out Rockstar because you know I always get so many of their drinks, and you know there was one just a couple days ago, just freaking awesome. It was so good it couldn't wait to be opened that it blew up in my car before I even opened it. So that was awesome. And so that was all up on my vehicle, but I hit them up on Twitter, and sure enough, they got back to me and actually are going to send me some vouchers or coupons or something. I don't know. So we'll see what it is. Sometime next week, it's supposed to come in, but shout out to them for being pretty quick about that because that was definitely unexpected.
Get one free.
Right. I'll take it. But that's all I got.
All right. All right. Well, so yeah, so just a couple shouts from me. So yeah, just kind of touching on. So yeah, last Saturday we had our good friend Jergy's bachelor party, kind of guys' night, before they actually have they actually been married already, but they have the big ceremony, coming up in September. So just shout out to him. It was just a really fun night. I was really glad to just kind of have that night out with with all of us and just having a good time. So yeah, Top Golf. I've been twice now. Never swung. I'm sorry, Cahoon. Anyways, I never swung a golf club up until like a month ago. Now I've done it two different nights. So interesting. I don't really know how much I actually really enjoy it or not. It's fun, but I think I don't know if I would like it on a more of anything just like that fun level. Like I don't know if I'd actually want to actually. It's fun
at Top Golf because you have like a point to it, but if it's on a golf course, you're kind of like fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely a shout out to Eric though. If you've seen one of our Jockreys, he's been one of our guest judges one time. So he's been on our show. He's been on our waves before, and then So.
Due to our contract dispute with that, I don't know if we will see him again on a Jockreys episode after we unfortunately crossed the contract line of asking him a question instead of him just answering.
Yeah. So. But so then my other shout out is another one that's a little more personal for me. So today would have been my late grandma's 83rd birthday today. She unfortunately passed away in the middle of last year, non-COVID related, but we were gonna get together with the family for dinner tonight. But unfortunately, my aunt actually just tested positive for COVID. But on the bright side, asymptomatic, nothing there. So my aunt was vaccinated, and so yeah, her and my uncle were both quarantining. So he never tested positive. He tested negative, but obviously they live together. So more than likely, he's probably going to get it. So, but the good news there, at least asymptomatic, nothing serious to report on that end. But yeah, just kind of unfortunate, it's just to get together with the family, just kind of enjoy it. My family, the close family is all pretty close. We get together, quite often for just like barbecues, whether it's a holiday, birthday, anything like that. So kind of fortunate we're able to do that. But, obviously in a good sense that at least we're able to find out, that my aunt was positive and we didn't get together knowing all that, even though everyone in my family, including myself, is vaccinated. So yeah, I just want to shout out my grandma. We miss you every day, and it's obviously nowhere near the same without you there. But yeah, I mean, you're always with us, even though you're not, physically present. So shout out to my grandma. Love you very much. Miss you every day. So yeah, that's my shouts for the day. So
now we're
sorry to break the mood down, but yeah. So all right, well, if that's it, is there anything else you guys want to add on? This is our last show for 2 weeks. No show.
We
next
really
week,
can't
so.
really.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Dad's
So
birthday's
is there
next
anything
week.
else you want to add? So
Happy birthday, Dad, next week since we're not.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Bob.
yeah.
Woo woo.
Yeah, he's almost up to your age now, right, Jay?
Yeah, he's catching up. It's I got that Brad Pitt syndrome, the reversed aging, whatever that is.
He's probably
Benjamin Button.
the next row
Benjamin
over
Button
at
in?
Kaiser.
Yeah. So.
Well, the good thing is props to you, man. Just for men never seems to run out during this COVID protocol. So it's good on for you, man. Hiding them grays, you're all good. You don't look a day over 60, so you're looking solid, man.
Jeez. Tough crowd. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode here of Sports Bets, but mostly chaos. If you aren't already doing so, make sure to give us a follow over at our YouTube channel. It's at Sports Bets, but mostly chaos podcast. Get alerts of our recent videos, and there'll be a Jockparty up there soon. I can assure you there will be another one up there soon, as well as our normal weekly shows. And also give us a follow over at our socials over on Twitter and on Instagram. It's at SBBMC_pod, POD. So make sure to give us a follow, give us likes, anything you feel. We're open to it all. So maybe not Ben with the, really serious critiquing, but the rest of us, we're ready for it. So
like you said last show, I provide 97% of the chaos. So if you don't like it, you're in the wrong YouTube
and
group.
that's low balling it. So all right, y'all. Well, have a great night. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you all here next time, everybody.
Safe travels, Craig.
Oh yeah, thank you guys.